Hey folks, Captain Mark here from Kings Landing Sport Fishing. It is Saturday, October 4th. Want to bring you guys a report. I've been slacking big time. Well, actually not really slacking. I've had a bunch of trips canceled because of the weather in September. But, I did have one last week and I slacked and did not bring you guys the report. My apologies. But getting out this week, it's been a week since I've been out. No one's been on the water that I know of, so didn't have a ton of information to go on, but was looking at some of the data from the weather boys through the week, understanding which way the water was moving, the currents, so on and so forth, looking at some of the temperature forecast maps, and had a feeling the weather was gonna be pretty good, or the water was gonna be pretty good in front of bluffers. So I first set up in 110 feet of water and was immediately greeted with soupy water, 65 degrees from top to bottom. So as I was trolling south, I just kept putting the rods down as deep as I possibly could. And I think once I got to about 170, 180, I started to get a decent thermocline down around 135 feet of water. So I started setting my rods at 125, 140, and then I think I set another one at 160 with the blowback. I was just above the bottom. And then I started setting up my divers. Long story short, I think once I got to about 200, 210, I took the first shot, and it was a nice king on the 155 or 160 downrigger with a flasher fly. An 8-inch root beer stud paddle with Yoda Glow fly. Took the first fish and I was happy. So long story short, I'll try to make this quick. I ended up running 3 riggers today, 2 divers, 2 long lines. The long lines were a 350 copper and a 400 weighted steel, and I only took 1 fish on each of those because unfortunately they were just not deep enough. The good temperature where I'd say the juvenile kings were, and the steelhead, I use that word lightly because I only caught 1 steelhead today. They were definitely deeper because the temp break seemed to be, once I got out deep into that a little bit deeper water, 200 to 260, it seemed to be need to be below 100 feet of water to get any decent temperature. So long story short, for me, it was all spoons and flies today. I had 2 Chinook size 6 divers out. One was on a braid diver rod, had it stretched back, I think about 240, 250 at any given moment, with an 8-inch, Wonder Bread flasher. And I actually had a small Skinny G spoon behind that. And then on the other side, I had a mixed veggie flasher with a Yoda Glow fly. That was out about 250. Those 2 did very, very well. As I mentioned, my one rigger had a root beer stud with a fly. The other 2 riggers were spoons. Really didn't matter. I changed the spoons up a bunch, and they were all getting bit. The spoons I was using. Long lines, like I said, I only took 1 fish each. One of those had a chartreuse or a chartreuse stud. The other one had a custom green spoon that I've painted up myself. But like I said, they really weren't deep enough. So long story short today, at the end of the day, I cleaned off 12 kings. I think 5 or 6 of them were probably in the 7 to 10 pound range. And then the rest were, call it smaller, but not shakers, but smaller kings. And then we had 1 rainbow that was about 8 pounds that we cleaned as well. So I think I cleaned 12 or 13 fish total. I know we released 2 or 3 fish, and we probably lost at least 5 or 6 fish. So it was a really good morning this morning. So if you're able to get out, I'd say right now, tomorrow's looking good. And most of the early part of next week's looking good. I myself, I hope to try to get out one more time before I pull the boat in the middle of October. So hopefully sometime next weekend with Thanksgiving I can get out and do a trip on Lake Ontario. But I tell you, today it's amazing. It feels like a nice late August day or early June day, and it's October 4th, which is crazy. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and it's awesome. Anyways, get out there and have some fun, folks. We'll talk to you later. Bye.